Hi there friends, it's Lynnea for LDRS Creative. Today I'm going to be mixing and matching some dies and some stamp sets from the current release as well as from previous releases to make a pocket slimline card that's just a cute little scene. So I have a Day in the Park stamp set, Friends Like You stamp set. I have this Here Comes the Sun die set, one of my favorites, as well as In a Cloudy Sky and In the Grass. And then I'm also going to be using the Slimline Basket Weave Pocket Die Set. I'm going to start with my Copic coloring here. So from the A Day at the Park stamp set, I'm taking the girl who's walking her dog, the tree, and the park bench. Then from the Friends Like You stamp set, I'm going to be grabbing a little bird, the fox that has the flower pot, as well as a little flower pot that I'm going to be putting on the bench. I kept in just a little bit of my Copic coloring. It's very easy coloring, and there's nothing really super fancy about it. I like to start with my darkest marker and go light. I find that that is the best and easiest way to get a lot of depth as well as shadows. So you saw me there just kind of add my darkest color to where there should be some shadows. So right at her hairline. And then I'm going to come in with my medium markers. I have been lately switching from a 3 marker blend to a 4 marker blend just to get a little bit more depth. So I have what I call a dark medium and a light medium marker. And then I'll go in with my lightest marker and color all over to blend those together. I'm keeping a pretty simple color scheme. I'm going to be coloring her dress pink. So then I will also be coloring some of the flowers pink in the flower pot, as well as the plants that the little fox is planting too. And then I wanted to have my bird be blue, so I'm going to bring in blue once again on the dog collar and on some of the flowers. Same thing with yellow. I'm going to be having yellow be that little center band on her dress. So I'm going to bring in yellow throughout my images as well. Now, she's not wearing any shoes, so I just took a marker and drew a straight line to draw some easy shoes and then used a cool gray marker to color in some shoes for her. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in the park bench and the tree branches with some earth brown markers. And I'm going to stay in the same earth brown color families. So I used the 50s for the trunk as well as the park bench. And I kind of varied my darks and my lights so that I could have a little variation of color, but kept them in the same color family and grouping to make them look like they go together. Same thing for the tree here. I'm using YG17, YG25, YG23, and YG21. And so I will use those same greens on the leaves of the flowers as well as the grass at the bottom of the tree. I find that when you use the same colors throughout your image, it makes things look like they are meant to go together rather than kind of a hodgepodgey look if I had used a whole bunch of different colors. So once I have all of my images all colored in, I'm going to use the Coordinating A Day at the Park and the Friends Like You die sets and cut out all of my images. Now let's start cutting out the items needed for my scene. The Slimline Basket Weave Pocket die set is 2 dies. One is just an outer scalloped border, but then you can lay in the basket weave portion and get a really fun background. So I'm just going to cut this out from some white cardstock, and that's going to give me a nice background for my card. Then I'm going to take just the outer die, so just that scallop die, and create a background for my card. I wanted there to be both grass and a little bit of sky, so I'm going to make my whole background be from blue cardstock, but then I'll cut some green as well for the grass. So now I have a background cut with the blue. I'm going to take that same outer die from the Slimline Basket Weave Pocket die set and cut once again from green. Now this is, I'm going to cut down. The blue I will keep whole and I will adhere the actual basket weave portion on top of that. But the green portion, I'm going to grab one of the dies from the In the Grass die set. I'm just using the straight piece of grass and I'll cut out this piece of cardstock. So then I will have a grassy border that is perfectly cut to be the same shape, that same scallop shape, and it's going to have that stitch detail that the whole card is going to have. I'm going to take some other dies to complete my scene. So I have the In a Cloudy Sky as well as Here Comes the Sun. And then I'm also going to be using the little pocket-sized fence die. All of these dies are going to come together to help me build my cute little scene. Now I am using a lot of white. The basket weave pocket die set is white, as well as the clouds are white and the picket fence is white, but I still think that it looks okay having that many neutral, or that much of a neutral color, I guess I should say. So once all of my dies are all cut out, I'm going to start assembling my scene. I adhered the white piece that I cut with the Slimline Basket Weave Pocket die set onto the blue piece, so you can see there's that little bit of blue sky kind of peeking through. And then I adhered the bottom portion where I used the In the Grass die set to create a grassy border. I popped that up with a layer of foam. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive to adhere the Country Fence Pocket dies onto my card. Now, one little pocket-sized fence was too short, but two was too long. So all I did was take an extra one of the Country Fence Pocket dies, and I just snipped off one little segment. That's all I needed, was one segment to make that stretch across my Slimline Pocket card. Now I'm just going to go ahead and adhere the rest of my elements, and you can see here that my tree is hanging off the top, so is one of my clouds, as well as the sun from the Here Comes the Sun die set. That's totally okay because this pocket-sized slimline card is going to fit into an A2 size envelope even with those elements overhanging, and I think it's cute when you have elements overhanging a card. It just kind of makes everything a little bit more, I don't want to say abstract, I just like the way it looks when things overhang. Now I'm going to be 100% honest, I completely forgot a sentiment, which is something that I frequently do, but I didn't want to have a large sentiment or anything that was really going to overtake the scene. I could have stamped something on the inside, but instead I reached for my Anytime sentiment stack, and I cut it with the sentiment stack coordinating die and added that sentiment right to the bottom there. And that completes this card. Thank you guys so much for watching. The products that I've used in this card are listed in the video description below. I'll see you soon. Bye! Thank you again very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button that is on the screen now. And here are a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy.